Darren, in our last episode, you hinted on this idea of an algorithm. Now, in our world today, there is a lot of talk about algorithms, particularly when it comes to social media and search engines finding you and all of those sorts of things that kind of dominate our world a little bit. But it got me really curious. What's the algorithm got to do with leadership, Darren?
So our algorithm really becomes, like you said, from a social media standpoint, lots of time, resources, and capital is invested for them to really figure out, those filters. What are those things that they can personalize in our feed that reinforce either what we have been looking at, they've predetermined through that what we're interested in, or the algorithm spitting it out, this is likely what this person is going to be interested in. And so we have become very much a product in our culture of the algorithm that we tend to feed ourselves. And we're not even often aware of what that algorithm is. That's kind of what makes it interesting. But what we really want to be able to do as leaders or as people is control our algorithm, right? Is that we want to make sure that we are predetermining what that algorithm is. Because as we talked about a few episodes ago or some time ago, this idea of our reticular activating system, right? What we notice, we get more of. It gets reinforced, right? If we notice the yellow car on the road, all of a sudden we start to notice more yellow cars, right? All of a sudden they seem to be everywhere. Whereas on another given day, we haven't noticed the yellow car, we don't see any yellow cars. And we all have the experience of an algorithm inputting into our feed. So would love to know what's in your feed at the moment. What's your algorithm pushing out to you?
Okay. Well, I feel a little bit hesitant sharing with you, but the fact that you asked
me.
As you know, I've embarked on a side hustle, if you like, of being a stand-up comedian. And I've done a few gigs and I'm learning as I go. So one of the things in my feed is stand-up. I am constantly looking. When someone says stand-up comic in a group of people, they have got my attention. Or if I flicking through YouTube and I see some stand-up stuff happening, I'm in. That's my feed. Bit embarrassing, but that's kind of where I am.
How's that? That's awesome. And as I've said to you before, and I'll say to you again, I mean, good for you. That takes some serious guts to pursue that side hustle. But that's very much what it is, right? Whether it is through our social media or we know something's important to us and we're at a party or a gathering and someone says our name or someone says something that's been on, top of mind for us, it grabs our attention because that's what our brain does by nature. It is always looking for what we're determining is most important to us. And there's always that element of our conscious and subconscious figuring out what that is. There's also the element of our algorithm and the feed predetermining what it feels will be important to us. And so really what we want to do on our path of growth as a leader, growth as a person or a parent or a partner or a comedian, right, is that we want to help curate our own algorithm, right? So that we are getting the information that we want, that we need to grow, to develop, but also being really careful that we're not just, feeding into confirmation bias. We're not getting an echo chamber. And so we're really wanting to get this balance between this is something I want to pursue and I want to make sure that I'm getting really good quality information from that, but so that it doesn't go too narrow. For now, all we're hearing is what we want to hear, right? And that's one of the things they talk about with AI is you really want to be careful because AI, can really start to, if you're not careful, mirror back to you, reinforce the direction that you already want to go. So that's why prompts are so important as an example, right? To be able to use the AI as a thinking partner, not just a confirmation bias process. And so our algorithm is determining what we are seeing in this world. it is, whether it's our conscious and subconscious algorithm, or it's our social media feed algorithm, or our company algorithm. What are those values? What are those strategic priorities? What are those things that they are wanting us to focus on? Is it we want to be really conscious about that? And so the next couple of episodes, what we're going to do is talk about how to create your own algorithm for your own growth and your own journey that you're on, and also create the algorithm for your team. Be that curator, right? Where do you want your team's attention to go? And so that's what we're going to do over the next couple of episodes as we go. So please, Andre, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
Well, just linking back to our last episode on the algorithm and different lenses on your camera, how sometimes we do need to have the wide angle lens. So the algorithm tends to narrow us, as the Chancellor story that you shared last time. So yes, the algorithm focuses on us being narrow, and sometimes we need to be broad. And I think it's a great exercise for all of us to go away and think about, is what is feeding your algorithm right now.
Outstanding. So please subscribe so that you can be here for those next couple of episodes as we dive in deeper. And what I'd really challenge you to do is notice what your feed is popping up. Notice what's popping up in your social media, but you can also determine a bit of what your feed overall is what are the moods that you're experiencing, right? What are those things that seem to keep popping up for you, whether that's in your interaction with people, certain people that you gravitate towards. So just, notice what your algorithm, social media, and just what you're noticing in life is popping up for you, so that you have something to work with at our next. So you have something to work with at our next session. Okay, there you go.
That'd be for the blooper reel.
That'll be the blooper reel. There you go. Handy iPad.